because you know we are human, and really, when you talk about forex and this, I think you know now, right, that you are already set up to lose, especially in forex. Not the others. I think the others are quite easier, but in forex, you are pretty much set up to lose. And you know, your broker, because statistics are here, the statistics, especially for the retail traders, show that 90% of 90% of the retail traders are going to lose money. So the broker, you know, you have a broker on the other side, he doesn't have to do any counter trade to hedge, okay? He, as long as he loses money, as long as you lose money, he will make money. And then that's how they want. And then you can see a lot of funny things going on in brokers. I mean, if you are a trader, you know, everyone is going to teach you, and this is one example, right? Everyone is going to teach you of the importance of putting stop losses. And we have here in this group that I see his name here, there's a guy here that is the champion of stop loss. Yeah, Shahril bin Azmi is the champion of stop loss. You can ask him. He always gets the stop loss, you know. The position goes for you, then goes against you, then your stop loss then goes back up again. So you see something in the books, you have to protect your position. And yet, once you protect your position, you will always get stopped out. That's not good. If you don't protect your position, well, then you have an even bigger problem, because if you're so emotional, you let it run and until it blows your account, which is never a good idea to do that. So how do we protect ourselves? And the best way to do it, you know, as I ask you, tell you afterwards, how do you remove that emotion there? And the other thing is, how do you remove the stop loss there? Safely, yeah? Don't just do it, huh? I'll tell you how to do it. And after I show you how a beginner did it, I do it differently, okay? I'm different because I've seen it before. You guys that haven't seen it before have to have the discipline to do it like the new student that will show you after did it. Okay, now once you have experience like me and you've seen the thing happen many times, then you can do it like me. A little bit more daring, but again, as a principle, we really do not like to run with stop losses, although stop losses are possible, okay? So yeah, I do teach kids, I do teach old people, there's a bunch of them, that's part of life. So now let us start with the meat and the crux of the matter. This is one of the videos that I'm going to cut and put in my YouTube channel. Okay, I think the problem now that we start, let's start with the problem of Malaysia, okay? But before that, this is what time is it now? Okay, so let's start with Malaysia now. Okay, now this is the this is the chart of the US dollar versus the ringgit. So you can see the US dollar going down against the ringgit from 420. Let's try to go here. Let's try to go back. No, we can't go back. This is not. This is not. Apparently, this is not this one. Try to go back in time here, and yeah, let's do a share here. I'm going to do the share. One moment, you share, and there. Oh, it is on there. Okay. Okay. Oops. Hey, what are you doing to? No, let me get out of this first. Yeah. No, that does not look right. Let me share it again, okay? That was just the wrong sharing on Zoom. This is a challenge we have in Zoom, okay? So it's now 2:28. Let me share this chart with you here. Let's go back to Zoom, and I am going to share PowerPoint. Okay, and yes. Let's go here and share. So yeah, the champion of so let me put you the I'm going to give you the yeah, go to this WhatsApp channel because I will be posting my recommendations for this week and also the Billionaire Mentors basically advice for this week, because he's supposed to advise me on more things, okay, and we'll introduce you to the Billionaire Mentor after, okay. But before that, okay, this is the chart of the ringgit versus the US dollar, or rather the US dollar versus the ringgit. You can see here this spike. I think this spike is very, very dangerous because it shows a break in trend, okay? So if you can see this, shows a break in trend. The ringgit was around what? Had gone from 420 all the way down to 406. And from 406 is now what? 412, 411, 412, went up to 413. Okay, now when you see something like this and a break in trend, you must ask the big picture, where is this going through? Okay, is this going to go up? Is this the sign? Or is this just a normal fluctuation that will go up and down and come back? I don't think so. I think there is something else that is going on here. And I think that whatever is going on here is going to affect a lot of people in Malaysia. And if you are Malaysian or if you are old enough, then you can remember the two previous depreciations that we had in 1996 or 1997, 1998. The ringgit went from 2.5 to 4.88 to the US dollar to before settling at 380. Okay, so 2.5 times 50% is like 380 lah. Okay, now that was depreciation number one. So when something depreciates, guess what? You are poor. Okay, you're poorer. Now for the younger generation, you're poorer temporarily, but over time, as people adjust to the lower salary level or whatever, I think things kind of adjust and takes care of itself over the longer term. That's really what I found out, because I was very young during the 97, 98 crisis. I was not very young during the 2014 to 2016. There was another depreciation, if you remember. Ringgit went from 3 to 4.5. So I've lived to 2 depreciations. I can tell you that over the long term, it doesn't matter. That means tomorrow if the ringgit goes to 50 to the US dollar, for the younger guys, it doesn't matter, which is, I see 2 in this room. For we older guys, it matters. You know why? Because suddenly the savings we have, we cannot find the same thing. We cannot buy the same thing. It's just as simple as that, you know? Because now, say I have 1 million EPF, I can buy 1 million worth of goods in today's ringgit. If the ringgit goes to 8 to the US dollar, I can only buy 500,000, which is very cruel. Okay? So suddenly my savings have shrunk. This is not good. So again, you have to decide which side of the fence you are. Are you of the older generation or are you of the younger generation? Okay, and trust me, after having gone to Pakistan, where the currency is anything, it's anything but stable, you can still thrive in a period of depreciating currency. It's actually okay. So this is the prophecy from the Billionaire Mentor. The other parts of the prophecy, which I'll probably get it tomorrow. I'm meeting him tomorrow. I'm meeting him tomorrow with a very successful Bangladesh guy who, get this, he has an e-wallet with 3 million users. A lot of them are workers working in the Gulf states. So again, you know, Pakistan, Bangladesh, same around there. So we're building all this. Now this is the knee. So who is he? He was the advisor last time to a billionaire. You know who my boss was, right? I was working in the Al-Bukhari group, so you know who that is. So, you know, the rich people always have advisors. And they have good advisors. We can't afford them. We just can't. So the good thing, if you want to be rich, if you want to go to find an advisor like this guy, he won't layan you. He's like, who are you? So you work for someone rich, and then you go and make friends with this advisor, okay? And then you ask him, what do you advise my boss? Can I know or not? So he has been there to advise us. And, you know, to his credit, a lot of advice has come true. For example, those of you that followed me in crypto or that were in my community in crypto knew how we, you know, we really made a lot of money in the crypto market because his advice that, you know, that it was time to go in cryptocurrencies, and we really hit it at the right time. Okay, you guys remember from October to January, and then I think in February when Bitcoin was about 15,000, he issued the call that Bitcoin would fall to 5,000. I know many did not believe, but it did. It did fall to 5,000. And I think when Bitcoin was like 8,000, he then said, get out of Bitcoin, you're gonna go to 4,000. It did go down to 4,000. And it's now at like 5,000 again, but it did go below 4,000. And of course, at 4,000, he said he wasn't sure. He said this might be the bottom, which is around 2004, or there might be another bottom. So he wasn't sure. So I think that the bottom has already happened at around 3,000. Okay, so now it's time to go up. And you guys know, or you guys came to my earlier session, knows that I asked for his target again on Bitcoin because he did say that Bitcoin, in certain circumstances, could go back up to 50,000. Okay, I don't know. But either way, I see Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies recovering. Now, when you talk about currency, see, I'm talking about many assets. Okay, so don't be confused. Okay, I'm a jack of all trades. I trade everything that makes money. I think that's easier. So rather than talking about commodities, gold, whatever, you know, forex, trade. I can trade whatever I feel like trading as long as it makes money. So this is the prophecy that he gave. Brunei, Malaysia, and Indonesia will be screwed. I'll show you why. I'm going to show you a series of flags after. And you take a look at those flags, okay? You take a very, very careful look at those flags. And I want you to go back home and convince yourself that it won't happen. Because, and if you cannot convince yourself that it won't happen, then you better follow my advice, which is to hedge yourself, protect yourself. Now, hedging doesn't mean that tomorrow you go buy US dollar, but it means you do protect yourself to a certain extent. If the ringgit depreciates, then you are protected, you make money. If the ringgit doesn't depreciate, so what? And I think we have to think that way. You have nothing to lose. So, Brunei, Malaysia, and Indonesia is screwed. It will start in Brunei. Their businesses will be screwed. I think you saw, right? There was a lot of calls last week for people to boycott Brunei because of their laws against gays. So it's already started in Brunei. The danger with Brunei is that the currency is pegged to the Sing dollar. So if that is broken, it's going to be a big problem. And there may be a contagion. Then maybe there will be a contagion. Okay. And next will be Malaysia and Indonesia. Malaysia has been very lucky. If you guys don't realize it, Indonesia's exchange rate is at the same exchange rate that it was in 1998 or 99. Was it during the height of the Asian financial crisis? The currency is even worse now. Malaysia, at least we are at 4.11. Worst state 4.88, so we haven't hit that. So if you guys just let's be rational here. This means that if there is another currency crisis, the ringgit has to hit 4.88. Just as simple as that, 4.1. Okay. So Qatar is being ostracized now. You know, right? Qatar is the first country to go out of OPEC. Qatar has problems with Saudi Arabia. Okay. So I don't know, maybe I'm on the American blacklist. I take Qatar Airways somewhere to Pakistan. What are you doing? I'm destroying myself, right? So I don't know, but after I will show you flags because, you know, we are part of one brotherhood, okay? We're part of one gang here. Qatar is part of our gang. Erdogan has to go. You know, if you know what happened, and we'll look at the chart after for the Turkish lira, and we'll also look at the charts for, the Egyptian pound, the Egyptian pound, and also the Pakistani rupee. Now, you know that Turkey is the 13th largest economy in the world. You know that last year the lira went to 7 to the US dollar from 4 in the space of a few months only, okay, almost doubling. If you look at 2009, the lira was, $1 was 1.2 lira. Now $1 is like 5.7 lira. It went to a period of 7. And no country can withstand this, okay? Turkey is now in a recession, see? So you see where, you know, if you are in a country and there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing terribly wrong with you guys, don't blame yourself for being in the country, but if you're in the country and it comes under a currency attack, you might be rendered poor, okay? So this is something very dangerous stuff. Okay, OPEC, there is an effort by Russia and China to transact oil in other currencies. If that happens, there will be war because, you know, the oil currency now is the US dollar. If you kill off the demand for the US dollar, what will happen? The US has too much debt, right? The US dollar will crash, the American economy will crash. That's the other way you see it. Now, if you see what's happening last year, I think Russia and China are buying a lot of gold, especially China. There are a lot of governments buying a lot of gold now. So this is quite odd, right? Because, you know, when governments buy a lot of gold, then they tend to know that something is bound to happen. Turkey is buying Venezuelan gold. So can you see the relationship? Birds of a certain feather tend to flock together. So, you know, when Turkey buys Venezuelan gold, then it's not good to the international community. What happens to their currency? It depreciates. It's just as simple as that, okay? And, you know, Russia was buying a lot of Bitcoin. So here's the deal. And this is why we have to have intermarket analysis, okay? If not, you're not going to go out to trade. You don't even have an idea what to trade. So I think that, you know, I told you guys that the real, see, a lot of people were wondering, you know, what was happening with Bitcoin? What in the world was happening with Bitcoin when it went down? And as I told you, the billionaire mentor later told, it was a very simple reason. Bitcoin went down because the mining rate or the hash power for Bitcoin was controlled by the Chinese. So the Americans, there is no Satoshi Nakamoto. He's Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, there's no such thing as Satoshi Nakamoto. So the Americans basically pushed down the price of Bitcoins to drive these people out of the market. And what did he say? Once the hash power is back stable, not anymore dominated by the Chinese, then Bitcoin will start going up again. Just as simple as that. Now, I think what's happening now, because they want this oil has something to do with Bitcoin, okay? Because they want to change that medium of transaction. Maybe for oil, maybe and other things, that Russia is buying so much Bitcoin that suddenly has driven up the demand for Bitcoin, especially the last 2 weeks, right? Bitcoin suddenly went from 4 to 5. It surprisingly has stayed about 5, okay? So it is more than just speculation. I think it's really fundamentals are changing. The end of fiat is definitely nearing. He has said that Bitcoin is not the answer. There is another. I think this is asset-based token because he always talks about asset-based token in the sense that your asset or whatever coin you have must be supported by an asset. And this is why for the ICO that I'm advising on, we are developing a token that is backed by gemstone. So, you know, when you buy that gemstone, if the silly token goes to $1, you know, if you offer it at 10 and it goes to $1, then you better buy it because that has the backing of a gemstone, and that means you kind of get a 90% discount on gemstone, which is a good deal, okay? Because you want it, because the token will allow you to even exchange for rubies or emeralds and this kind of thing. Already polished and also certified, okay? Certified by American or Swiss standards. So you really want to do that. So before the end of whatever, you know, I mean, the transition to fiat is probably starting. The transition outside from the US dollar to something is probably starting. The market makers should push up Bitcoin, whales playing with themselves. So again, they might play this game again where they just push it up. My advice to you is if they push it up, make your money and get out, okay? Get out. So again, as far as Malaysia is concerned, I think things are improving a lot now. Mahathir is still in full control, you know. It's kind of weird, right? it's kind of weird that Mahathir was said, or rather, the president of PAS and also the president of UMNO said that they will support Mahathir in the event of a vote of no confidence. So that, I think, is good. It shows that he is in control, because if he's not in control, I think we're going to have a lot of problems. Okay, so any questions until now before we go to the flags? And I will show you this thing regarding flags are very, very crucial, very critical, because I want you to know where Malaysia is in terms of all of this, okay, who our allies are. Because if you know who our allies are, then you can make the association that if our allies are suffering, for sure we will suffer too, because we are part of the same gang. And this is it, okay? So, you know, we just signed the ECRL contract with China. This is good. We are now underneath China. Okay. We're under China now. So I suggest you guys to look at the yuan, okay? If the yuan depreciates, then we will also depreciate. Again, these countries, Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, these countries next. So you look at these countries of which we are part of the gang, you know, this is part of our alliance. Turkey, you know, these countries are associated together. Turkey, Iran, Egypt, Pakistan, Qatar, okay? And you notice that there's Saudi Arabia missing here. Saudi Arabia is a different gang, okay? Saudi Arabia is a different gang. Please remember, this is kind of our gang. You saw that, you know, we're setting up a lot of investments in Pakistan and all that. So let's see some of the currencies. Do not be too concerned, okay? It's not like it's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah, but note that this is eventually going to make way, whatever it is. Just be prepared for the depreciation. Okay, let's look at Turkish lira. Let's look at USD TRY. Okay, not USD RR, USD TRY. I'm just going to go to the weekly chart so that you understand what this is. This shows you the currency in weeks. So if you see how this looks, you think that that's very scary? This is like, what is this? See, in 2009, let's see this. Let's see this. What was this? Just trying to get this. What's this? 1.9. It went even lower than 1.5. There. 1.14, right? And then you see this currency in 2018, last year, 7. Wow. Now it's 5.7. So that is something that is very, this is very scary. If you are in a country and you see this giving way, that's very scary. You know, have you seen the ringgit like this? Yeah, it has happened like this. Now that's TRY. Let's see. So we're just going through our friends here. Our friends. Okay. Let's see Pakistani rupee, USD PKR. Okay. Now, this is not good also, right? So suddenly you see there, in 2009, it was like 60. Okay, $1 was 60 rupees. Now look at now, 141 rupees. Last year, it went from 100 to almost 141, 40%. Look at this move. 2018, yeah, December 2017, right? Just look at that massive move on Pakistan, okay? Now let's go to another one. USD, let me find Egyptian pound. Yeah, let's go at US dollar, Egyptian pound. Just look at that. Look at that, 17.2, and yet in 2012 or 2009, this is even worse, it was only 5.38. Oh, okay. In 2018, it was 8.77, and now it's 17. Double, right? Everything double, 40%, 50% double. And the next one, who else is our friend? Iran. Iranian Rial, right? Yeah. USD, I, USD, I,